Early. Hey everybody, it's Painting with Paolo. I've got my lovely wife, Unso O'Leary, right here. And we are going to be drawing today, actually, instead of painting. So, welcome to the show. If you've got some art, bring your art over and let us know what you've got going on. We're going to start doing it right now. Let's see. What would you like to see first? Well, I know what I'm going to talk about. I just announced last night on Nat 21 Adventures that we're going to start doing a map of the month and a monster of the month. And if you are even at the lowest level of our Patreon, $5 a month, you're going to get a PDF of one of the unique monsters that I've created during the month of the gaming that we use. And it's going to have some special powers and stats and all the things that you're going to need to use that in your own game. And likewise, at the $10 level, you get the map of the month, which is going to be one of the many maps that I've made for our games that will be actually in a more legible format that will eventually, will be a black and white PDF. It has some notes on it, what you might want to use it for. Of course, if you're anything like me as a dungeon master, you always just reuse your things and use them for different things that they were intended for. And so sometimes the descriptions don't really mean anything, but you can use it however you like.
Recycle, reuse, reimagine.
That's right. So, put anything you're working on art-wise in the comments, and we're happy to see you. So come on in, everybody. Right now, I am working on currently taking one of the maps that we used from our very first season of Nat 21 and putting it on something more legible than my chicken scratches. So in a grid format. So that's going to be that. And just show you some of the other maps that I've worked on in the past. Is this kind of three-dimensional map, which are really great, especially if you have multiple layers that will definitely affect each other. This one has a giant hole in the center, so of course you'd go right to the basement floor.
It's like a two-tiered one.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's the bottom floor.
It's like playing Haunted Betrayal Mansion House thing where you've got multiple floors.
Haunted Betrayal House thing, which is actually a better name.
I know.
Yep. We all know what game we're talking about. Yes.
Hey, folks. Hey.
And so come on in. Madam Onso, what are you working on?
I am really working on the same thing I was working on the last time I was on the show. And what I'm always working on when I have some downtime. Pardon me. Sorry. I am working on... I'm making magnetic tarot paper dolls for my Patreon people. I don't know if you can see that in any which way. I don't really know how to share this best with you.
Angle it a little.
Like that.
There you go.
Oops. Yeah. So I drew some primary figures, and then everything else are essentially outfits that you can put on them, which make these central figures into the different major arcana of the tarot. That's what I'm working on. It's many, many hours of fiddly scritching.
All right. So welcome to the show once again. I'm going to start. Oh, well, maybe we should talk about a little bit more about the Halloween special. Now, we are working on mailing everything out today. And I've been working on my 3D printer as well. So we've got these little skeletons. Here we go. You know what? I'm going to turn on the action cam.
Ooh, action.
Dun, dun. Action cam. So we have all these little guys printed with my resin 3D printer. And we've got glowy skeleton bodies. We've got dark skeleton bodies. And
things you may not know if you don't live with a 3D printer. It smells like living in a distillery. Not because of the resin, which you need to have someplace well ventilated, but because there's a lot of isopropyl alcohol involved. It's like living in the hand sanitizer factory.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for buying all of the isopropyl alcohol ever. And yeah, it's been really
Unexpected hoarding.
yeah, it's been really, really interesting thing to try to find during your regular 3D printing days. It's hilarious. So yeah, that's going on there. We've got more printing coming up. It's over there in the other room. I wish it was more exciting to see, but it's really kind of boring. You literally can't see the things being built. It's not like an extruder 3D printer, which you can watch going slowly like toothpaste, just filling things up. And if you had it really fast, you could probably time lapse it really cool. But the 3D printer, it's a plate that's in a dish, and it just rises up a little bit, and you never see it until it finishes, unless it's like a really big. If it's a really tall thing that you're making, then yeah, it'll appear. But what we're making is really not that tall, so it never really leaves the dish. And then it's done. Then it goes, all right, I'm done. And then.
But that could be a metaphor for the artistic process. Like, this time isn't about being flashy so much as is it about being authentic. Like, this is hard. The thing I'm doing, it takes a lot of time. And part of me is like, you're an internationally published artist. Shouldn't this be faster? No, it's just slow. It's fiddly work.
Fiddly work.
Just like the 3D printer. And so much of what y'all are probably working on at home.
Can we get a mini of Johnny Vulcan?
Yes, please.
Yes, we can. I will look him up and find some. I'll look it up. I'm sure I can find something. Maybe get the shoe from Monopoly game.
It's a shoe cannon.
Oh, wouldn't that be the best?
Oh, that's very Maxwell Smart.
Yes. Well, I wanted to show off a little bit of this is the Halloween special map. Okay. This is my drawing, right? And I put all the details in there. And this is what it's going to look like for those of you who are receiving our Halloween party kit. There's a full color map. One side, the other side. You'll actually have this map, and the players won't.
It takes a village.
So you'll know exactly where they're going before they do. And
no spoilers.
No spoilers, except for the gelatinous cube pit.
I mean, the Saints, you're spoilers by definition, but...
Right. Don't give it away.
But in the best way.
Let them fall in the gelatinous cube pit.
Thekla worked hard to make that. It really has taken quite a bit of a community effort to build the party kits. It's not just this guy and his tools. There are many clever artsy hands involved.
Should I show him?
Show him one with me on it.
Oh, you know what? I don't have it printed yet.
Oh,
it's printing it. We're actually receiving that right now. Yes, there's a few monsters. This is
you just have to go boop.
Yeah. You don't get to see any of the stats, but there he is. His name's Rusty. He's adorable.
Can I swear on this show?
Sure if you want.
So fucking cute.
Well, you can't say that.
Oh. Boom, demonetized. Not really an issue here.
They've already demonetized us anyway because I keep putting the links to Twitch. Just FYI, if y'all noticed that. You don't see a lot of my posts because I keep going, hey, go to Twitch. And then Facebook's like, you can't say that. And then I'm like, well, I can.
The Zook
and then
is
they're
not
like,
happy about it.
Yeah. So I have this map this is the map I'm working on right now. This is the map from Season 1. It is the Neue Drachenstein Castle.
Oh,
It's my dragon version of Neuschwanstein, which is New Swan Castle. So Neue Drachenstein Castle is New Dragonstone Castle. All right. So there's that.
and as you probably know, the crazy monarch who built Neuschwanstein, which is what the Disney castle is based on, that was like his thing. He spent all his money on Wagner and like the actual person, and as well as the music, and building fantasy castles. One of which was also called Falkenstein, because he was like he would have built a Drachenstein. He just didn't live.
Just
long
didn't get
enough
to it.
before he mysteriously died in the lake.
I hear it was iron poisoning.
Yep.
Stab.
I think he was actually shot.
Lead poisoning then.
Yes, he was lead poisoning. He
Oh,
was walking on the lake with his therapist, explaining his issues, and everybody turned up dead.
at least they turned up.
Toes up. They immediately donated his castles to the city-state, whatever you call it, the nation of Bavaria. He didn't even really live in it. He
We got so many castles. What are you gonna do?
no time.
Imagine the audacity of living in your summer castle all year long.
That's what I've been doing this whole quarantine.
That's
just
right.
To be clear, this is supposed to be my winter quarters.
This is I thought this was our summer house.
No, I don't want to be in the United States in summer.
Oh, right. So this is it's more of a fall, spring house.
Right.
This is at least it's a two-parter, but
Sorry, got a Galaxy Quest reference.
So yeah, it's Virginia in the fall and spring is great.
Now in the summer, it's a little buggy.
So if anybody has a summer house or a winter house, when by winter house we mean
International passports.
or yeah, I was gonna say someplace in Malta would be nice to winter there, right in the Mediterranean. I think I hear it's nice.
Is Corsica less corrupt? Malta's famous for its like awesome hospitalier, like the Knights Hospitaller,
Oh yeah. Well, there's Knights of Malta actually.
right?
Actual Knights of Malta.
Oh, right. And then also they're like
Also famous for their falcon,
the Millennium Falcon.
the Maltese Falcon.
Oh, right.
Anyone? For just that one falcon. I actually never really even remembered why that was famous. Like why? I mean, I know the movie, but
I assumed it was like an object, like the idol in Indiana Jones or something.
maybe. I don't know. Don't know. Mab, what you working on today? I see you're there. Hi, Reverend Tommy. Sally.
Hi. What a game last night, huh? Did you see the dragon?
Adam. Yes, oh my gosh, the dragon molted. Ooh, that was so exciting. Never
I like
seen that
how it-
before.
Stared blue and blurry-eyed into the void, simultaneously cute and kind of terrifying.
Right?
It's adorable. Adorbs. Yeah, I can't tell what the people are saying because it's too far away. So you'll have to.
Oh, there's the on there. It's just
Digest.
Day Joblandia. Oh.
Oh. Me too.
I guess this
There
is my
is.
day job. Weird.
I'm also technically homeschooling right now, but we're in between moments. So
I realized when I make a map and then I make another map that actually has to be actual squares. I found out that because I'll put this map, I built the map on the show, and so you knew exactly like how big it was. I totally made all that up. I don't really even remember how. I have to go look back at the video to see how many squares I used, see how big this thing was supposed to be.
oh. You mean like you were problem solving in real time?
Exactly. So, yeah. But that's why I like to keep things loose anyway, because it makes for better. If I need to change something in the show, then I do. So there you go. Questions. Working on his character sheet. That's right. Tonight is the game for the Grand Patreon Saints, who are playing that show on Twitch, and that's going to be 6:30 to 9:30. So if you are a Patreon Saint, you can come on over and watch. And actually, if you have loyalty points as well, you can throw those down on this show. 6:30 to 9:30 tonight. That's right. We got the AAA Plus.
What?
That's right. They are on a floating island outside of Magecroft. These islands only pop up as the water gets colder. And they're there all winter. And then as the water warms back up, they sink back down.
Oh, speaking of winter quarters.
Exactly. No one knows why. Are they buoyant? Is it water, currents?
They're
Push
bad
them out?
roommates. The continental plate just tells
Doesn't
them to
like
move
them.
out.
The current thesis is Cthulhu taunts the land with these little nuggets of evil and then lets it sink back down once it thinks the surface dwellers have had enough. That's the current science.
Science.
That's
Hash
true.
brown science.
Hash brown science.
Also, we have 2 kids. They're nuggets of evil.
With their crowbar mustaches. It's handlebar.
Architecture.
Yep. Tonight, Mab. That's right. Tonight.
What happened?
Oh, that's Mab says tonight. Stuff gets saving to mess over the Reverend Tommy. Oh, how sweet!
Oh wait, is it like a payback?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, the Saints can get what they give.
They can.
Interesting.
And they do.
Whoa.
That's right. That's right. And what else we got going on? We have Sunday. It's going to be the haiku wrap up with Romulus. And then we have the Halloween show. I can't wait. Oh my gosh. It's going to be so cool.
Isn't it Romulus and Ayala?
For Sunday, yes. Right. Romulus and Ayala are going to be doing the haiku wrap up. I will be in the comments as I will be riding back. Someone else will be driving.
I would be driving.
And then after the show, I take over driving the rest of the way. It's so much fun.
It's a hard thing going back and forth to work every weekend like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just grueling. I mean, life happens to everybody, particularly right now, but it really is pretty grueling because, we drive for as little or as long as the traffic requires. And then, blam, kids in school in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
People become Ren Fair performers specifically so they can have Monday off. But once you're in a family way, that doesn't happen anymore.
Right. Unless you're one of those families.
Mega rich.
Well, or I was going to say one of those families that is on the Ren Fair circuit and just basically homeschools. And then they can keep their kids on the same schedule as they are. They actually get a day off.
Right.
Oh.
Ironically, we were homeschooling and doing all that, except without the benefit of the Ren Fair schedule, I guess.
I guess so.
That's all right. Make our choices. That's why we have a cute little house.
That is true. I'd say little. It seems to be a pretty big house, honestly. If
you're pushing a broom, it's big.
Yeah.
If you're counting your chickens.
Ansa is still quiet.
Am I?
Is she any louder now?
It feels really loud because I have this thing in my ear.
Right.
So I feel like I'm yelling. Okay. La. Also, my ears are oddly shaped. It keeps falling out.
It's true.
So I'm distracted.
She is better now. All right. I will just talk loudly as I'm a whole foot and a half away from the mic.
And that's different from how.
So, give us a topic. We're just chatting here.
Are we supposed to be something
I don't know.
specific? It's your show.
I was going to talk about, well, I said, all the cool things that we got sending off in our packets there. And those are being mailed off today. And they are priority mailed, so they should hopefully get there by Saturday. Plenty of time. And yeah.
Oh, I know what I could talk about.
What are you going to do?
On Halloween itself, I am the MC for the Digital Ren Fair's online show.
That's right.
So, yeah, if you want to hear me talk loud and with great deliberation, that would be an opportunity. I was happy to be asked to do that. That was fun because while I have done years and years and years of performance, now not as much. And I think my thing booped off.
Yeah.
Is it on again? How about now?
You're fine.
Okay. So at my now that I'm not performing as much, and I'm doing mostly teaching tarot. What just happened? Okay. Anyway, yeah. Now that I'm not performing as much, I'm still working with people, a lot. But the way that my tarot life relates to my performance life is a little ambiguous. So it's nice to have a chance to bring the two together.
Speaking of your tarot, don't you have a thing tonight?
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm teaching a class tonight. I have my own practice where I teach on Monday nights, and those are pay what you can all level classes. You can get more information on my Facebook page if you want, World Spirit Tarot with me, or my website, theworldspirittarot.com. But tonight, I'm actually teaching a super affordable workshop through the local witch group, which is RVA. That's where we live. RVA Witches Unite. And they're having me teach a class from 6 to 7:30, something like that. You can find information about that online. They're still accepting registrations and so forth. And usually it's a big class and it's super fun. So I think
is it RVAWitchesUnite.com? Or is that
no, that's like their Facebook.
Okay.
The event is listed on the book face. It's called Ongoing Adventures in Tarot. And there's a picture of me doing my Theta Bara impersonation, like an old black and white style photo. And that event is not through me. You have to register through them, but it's like $10 or something. It's very, very accessible. So that's tonight.
There we go. Laziest woman in show business is in high demand.
That's right. Mom.
How to give out candy to kids on Halloween in plague times.
Johnny Vulcan.
I recommend Candy Cannon. That's right. First, so instead of a smoke machine, you have a sanitizer machine that just aerates the sanitizer so that the kids feel like they're walking through a nice fog, but yet they're being sanitized. And then they get to your door. Yeah, Johnny Vulcan that candy to him. Just how about a compressed air gun? Just boom, boom.
Like a t-shirt cannon?
Like a t-shirt cannon, but for candy. Candy cannon.
I don't want hard candy. It hurts.
That's right.
It's like being hit with a paintball gun.
Yeah, the Tootsie Rolls aren't much better, by the way. Just dang.
Also nasty.
Great Johnny Vulcan. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder about that. it's not going to kill the tradition of Halloween, but Halloween has definitely been having its own problems. Just with different communities not really celebrating or not wanting to celebrate, or this whole Halloween candy not being safe and stuff like that, which is just it's a war on Halloween. Honestly, war on Halloween.
Fact.
Yeah. And yeah, it's impossible to completely sanitize children. Don't I know it?
Germ vectors.
If I could just get them to brush their teeth, that'd be one thing.
Right. The pain, it's real. What? What did I miss?
Yeah. So, well, Magnus says it's impossible to sanitize children. Reverend Tommy bringing the answer to everything. Fireball.
Fireball, of course. But if your kids, what is it? They stand more than 10 feet away, then they're out of range. Or how about
Fireball is going to be a 40 by 40 by 40 ball, I guess. It's pi r squared and area of a sphere.
Ironically, you function in a world of
circle.
grids. So are they actually, like, if you were smushed into the corner of that square, would it miss you?
Yes.
Okay.
In my world, it does, because we do math.
Science.
Yes. The closest, without going crazy about it, is that a fireball in the olden days, which should be a 20-foot radius ball of fire, which would be a 40-foot diameter ball, would take, and we just, for the ease of math, it's 36 10 by 10 by 10 squares. So that means just the corners are taken off. Otherwise, and that's just to make the math easy. I'm sure it's not exactly that, but yeah, we've had tons of fun killing entire parties where they thought they were safe, and I'm going to put the fireball here, and then I count, assuming that all ceilings are 10 feet high, which they aren't. So I was like giving them the benefit of that doubt. But you count them up and you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 36. And then they're like, oh my God. And then the room they're standing in you're up to like 25. And then the room beyond that is somewhere around 30. And yeah, that's a lot of cubic feet of fire.
Yeah. Cubic bits of damage.
Magnus, thankfully, is giving the -10 on the fireball to children, and crit fail for Tommy on the attack.
Can we talk about how adorable Alex was last night?
Oh my gosh, so cute. Yes.
I'm all for
Alex was fantastic.
All for PAX. So cute. So effing cute.
I'm just gonna throw these up there. Bam. Bam. Oh, here it is. Madam on San Paulo. That's me.
That's me.
And you. You can hear us smooch.
Blah.
So yeah, candy for children. I believe Halloween is one of the best traditions ever. Vaguely rivaled with actually Christmas caroling, which people don't really do anymore. But because they just don't know their neighbors. But I think that's the point of trick-or-treating, is running around and finding out who's got candy, I guess. Which technically everybody should have candy. I think it should be the law. But I guess
toothbrushes. Every street should have a Vermin Supreme who says, good luck, kid. Here's a toothbrush. It's the
whom
law.
I've met. That's right.
By the way, Vermin Supreme has hoodies that are really cool. They're like a cartoon of him with a boot on his head. Toads adorbs. Come on. Trying to make this do its thing. Mab, I still randomly have these moments when it's like just not cooperative, and I can't figure out why. And then I get it right, and you go, oh, yes, do it like that every time. Damn it. Thought I was smart or something. boring.
Carmel is out trying to find isopropyl alcohol. It seems to be elusive.
Really?
Yes.
Can we use cheap ass vodka?
Probably. Probably.
We can use that gross hand sanitizer from the fair.
I don't know if it's strong enough, but it might be 140 proof.
It smells strong. The fair in Pennsylvania was good enough to provide all the entertainers with, a starter set of hand sanitizer. Because of course it's a brewery, they've got like distilling functions, which is great. But as a person who has a snow cone machine, I know weird fake smells when I smell it. So the hand sanitizer is like super strong vodka, like cheap vodka mixed with hydrogen peroxide and like butter pecan flavoring or something, or odoring. I guess you're not supposed to eat it. Anyway, it smells like the sticky backseat of a car full of children. Gets your hands clean, but the Yellow Jackets love it. So I don't know if we could use that to do the job, that'd be nice. And then just use the regular vodka on our hands.
Yes.
I'm full of solutions.
I was going to say, I'm sorry that we don't have a better action cam. We tried to switch cams, but
these are just both hard mediums too. Painting looks better, because this one's got screen fight. Ooh, I can maybe I can show you the Krampus art that I finally finished from last time.
So Reverend Tommy says the PA stuff is rum base with peroxide added to make it not drinkable.
I mean, I think you underestimate what people are willing to do. That's all the, rail riding hobos back in the day would not be fazed by that. But,
Rail riding hobo.
So it's rum. Okay.
That's pretty fascinating. I don't even know what to say to
They
that.
should have just let us have the rum, and then I guess if you let everyone drink the rum, then they wouldn't be sanitary. They would just be blotto.
Maybe.
It's not my favorite. I'm grateful that it's been provided, but whenever possible, we use our own. Can you see this one, Mabo? I don't know if I can get it at the right angle. That really is the worst.
Oh, there you go. Keep
Right
tilting. There you go.
So without the absurd foreshortening, it's the wheel of fortune.
Wait, I'm gonna put that on the big screen. Oh, check that out.
There you go.
That looks great.
See, there's a person who their head will appear there in the middle and their little feet at the bottom. So one of the challenges artistically is that when you're trying to make people dress like tarot, what does that even mean? Because with some cards, like the Wheel of Fortune or the Moon, they are the cards are really a setting. So it's like you're trying to dress a person as an entire atmosphere. It's fun. I'm figuring it out. I don't know if I showed this one last time, but I love it. I actually like this better than the Universe card in my actual Flesh and Blood Tarot deck. Let's see if I can get the right angle. It's like, it's the Universe. She should be voluptuous AF. So you can see her. Again, there's a person who will sort of try this awesome cosmic body on, perhaps on your fridge. Sorry. Okay. There's a bunch in here. Death. Ooh, there's the Fool. The darndest thing, Mab, is I don't seem to be able to control how big they end up. This one I did this weekend at the fair. It's the Fool, but it's totally got some like labyrinth hair or something there. Like some never ending story. Lamal 80s hair. It's like a fairy mullet. So cute. Not as cute as a molting dragon. I think I worked on this Krampus art so much that I broke the app. It now has trauma even about trying to open. Come on.
We might have Zeb joining us.
Oh, I love it. Snarfy. Is that his other name?
Yes.
So Paolo just pretty much just lives by his name. I mean,
Dude.
if he goes to the bank, they know who Paul Hudert is, but I only ever call him Paulo.
They don't know who Paul Hudert is.
Yeah, he's got a whole other name. Our kid just found out. They thought their last name was Garbanzo all this time.
That's because our kid isn't observant.
I mean, I was surprised. They were also surprised.
Everyone was surprised.
But, I mean, Ansa, I had another name when I was born. Ansa's the name I live by. Mab, whatever, we make ourselves. Oh, we make ourselves dark. The light does. But Snarfy, anyway, if Snarfy joins us, he probably doesn't live by that name. Do we need another something to overheat or get cranky? Now I look extra ambient. Hokey seance. Oh. Reverend Tommy says you should do a reactionary video made of Jan being tossed into the death circle. Yeah. You got jammed.
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Archimedes.
You got the Archimedes. That was great. Also, Kazoo's pep talk. Darn it.
Love that.
Did anybody notice in Kazoo's pep talk about not being evil that she was surrounded by tentacles? Because the shower curtain clearly is batting for the other team.
I noticed.
Hey, look at that. Hope shot.
It's not going to last forever.
Nothing lasts forever. Not to be all macabre about it. Right. The one I'm working on right now is for the devil card, and it super looks like Saturday night in some club.
Just trying to get there we go. Step on board here.
Yay! I'm glad to be stealing this time. Actually, we have been extremely busy since we got back from the fair.
We're
Being-
busy every day.
Right? I mean, the electric and the kids and the chickens and the D&D and what have you. It's a lot. Mm-hmm. Time for art. For art.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. All right. Information sent.
So we're going to get our friend on here too?
Yes.
Yay!
So I made these little guys with the 3D printer. Then these guys are little squid rats that are going to be in the D&D adventure that is going to be the castle tour. And I designed these guys a long time ago on Hero Forge. Finally got my 3D printer and was able to print these guys up. They got little crossbows, they got little swords.
Tastes so good with butter.
3D printer. It makes it happen. On the black board there, you can't really see him. Here we go. Boop. There we go.
Action cam.
Action cam. Yes.
So many things going on.
I love that reactionary video made of Jan being tossed into the death circle.
Who's reacting is the question.
Jan.
Oh.
Like Jan's reaction. Like, hello. Did not go as planned.
I was going to say everyone's reaction there would be interesting.
And Reverend Tommy says, I think she's turning to the tentacle beast as she has a strange connection to it after it making her lose one of her first party members and good friends.
Ooh.
Yeah. Jan's going to come back as like super evil Cthulhuoid following committee member.
Ugh.
That's the worst thing I could think of possibly.
Ooh, it's the clipboard Cthulhu.
Clipboard Cthulhu. So let's see. Oh, here we go.
Blah.
There he is. Well, hey, we're gonna. Why, it's the incomparable Zeb.
There we go. I'm getting a lot of weird echoing going on, or maybe a cross conversation. I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh,
I might pop out, pop back in, and see if that remedies the situation.
okay.
Yep. So I'm gonna pop out. I'm still getting a lot of cross traffic. So
Great. Maybe we'll try this.
Is he picking up the here's my talkie, here's my ear?
Let's just make sure our audio's default speaker. Default mic. Nope, that's the mic. Got echo cancellation on.
There's a button for that?
There is. That's muted.
all right, take two.
How's that? Is it still? No? Hello? Check.
No, I can hear you guys. I'm not getting any echo. I'm just not sure if
Hooray.
I'm sick. There we go. All right.
Perfect.
So
Well-
wave and say hi.
Hi.
Excellent. We're in sync then.
All right. Yeah,
Great.
everything's a little delayed, So what are you working on today?
Well, I have here pulled up on my computer. Yep, here comes the back echo. You know what? Maybe I'll try to check in next week
Oh, okay.
because I have
Are you
no
sure it's
idea
not-
what's going on, and I hate to make you guys
Is it your voice
get your
or
thing
ours?
slowed down because of my my wacky technology issues. So-
We're hanging out. Is it your voice or our voice? Nope, and he's gone. Ba-dam-dam. Well,
You saw him here for a whole second.
he was gonna work on some stuff for his 3D printer and show us some of the things going on there. So,
Next time.
yeah. Cthulhu Karen. Oh man, that would be the worst thing
Ugh.
ever. Yeah. Yes. Oh, so the Halloween special. Well, let's see. The party is going to meet up with Steel Fox, who's got a little mission for them. Now, the Halloween party is at the Mummy Lady's mausoleum. That's a lot of M words. So every once a year in Magecroft, not her, but everyone else, the necromancers,
Sorry.
they have somebody open up one of the portals to the afterlife. And Thekla, the mummy lady, she is the one chosen by the Mausoleum Owners Association to be the one who hosts the party. Of course, they hired the best entertainment, Steel Fox. And Steel Fox has a secret mission for the players that's going to be part of the whole party. So not just that they're doing a little show, they're actually going to... It's not a smash and grab, as people might assume. It involves freeing...
Plays the thing.
Love. That's right. So, Zeb's going to try it again here.
So stupid old person problem. I actually had your broadcast up in another tab, and so that's why I was getting a weird echo issue. So I shut that down. So now I'm gonna have to watch you straight through the StreamYard.
There you go.
Hilarious.
It's a smaller screen, but that's fine. That's how we watch it.
Hey, the cast is about screwing up, right? So
that's right.
There you go.
Good
I
times.
screwed up. I'm learning.
Well,
stuff.
I keep forgetting to look at the proper camera because I switched the whole setup. So like that's the camera that I should be looking at, but I keep looking over here, and then there's this one over here that doesn't have anything to do with anything that's going on over here.
Because this is the one I can see you on, Snarfy.
Right
there. Yep, that's the one you're looking at me right now. So that's exciting.
It's...
Yeah,
I
did. This has a little delay.
Okay.
So I'm looking here and then looking here, and then I see me looking at me looking over there because that one I'm looking at me. So then it actually happens at the same time. So what do you got for us?
So I was going to go ahead and give a shot at sharing my screen.
Oh yeah.
And seeing if I could go through the whole process of making a 3D file for a token for printing out on the 3D printer.
Let's do it.
Yeah, all right. So I'm assuming I'm just going to hit this little button here, and everything's going to be magic. See,
magic. Sorry.
And everything blows up.
Select window or screen. We're going to go ahead with entire screen, just to make things easy.
Ooh, I see it. It's popping up over here on my board.
All right.
Whoa. There we go. All right, so now we're off to the side. See, you can get the whole like 3D dungeon.
Oh man, crazy! Look at that, infinity.
Right.
Infinity.
Share the other screen. There we go.
There you go. Okay, like that. Haha. All right. So I won't be able to see you guys, but that's fine. I'm not directing this situation. So you guys are seeing the gameicons.net page?
Yeah.
I assume. All right, great. So this is the monstrosity that has like hundreds of thousands of cool icons and stuff, and they're all tagged and everything like that. So I figured I'd go ahead and choose a weapon. So they have a little tag over here. That's weapons.
Is this a free site?
This is a free site. Yep, and they're consistently updating it. They're putting new icons up all the time.
What's it called?
Game-icons.net. It's the one I had mentioned a couple weeks ago when I was on.
That's right.
So I chose the little battle axe icon here. And this is a really cool thing because it lets you go ahead and change the background. I can add a background that's brown, and I can change the shape of it to a triangle or circle or anything that I want. You can change the size of the icon in the back.
Oh, yeah.
In the foreground. So if you just want a file to like put into a document or something like that, you can very easily create it in here.
Nice.
Yeah, really neat. So I've already saved this icon, and I saved it with a white background, or rather no background, and I saved it as a PNG. So I downloaded it straight from this site, so that I would have it to put on my token. So that part's really simple, just picking out the token, the icon you want, and downloading it.
That's great.
And then this is 3D Builder that's on Windows. So are you seeing that on your screen?
Yeah.
Neat. So the first thing I usually do is go to Insert up here, and it gives you can see here at the top of the screen all these different things that you can make. And that if you just wanted to print out a pyramid, you could do it straight from this from this program, real easy. Just make a pyramid, decide what size you want it, and print it out. So I'm actually going to delete this because I don't actually want the pyramid. Crap. Which I need to go to edit object, delete. There we go. So this is my my cylinder. So it starts me out with a cylinder, and then here at the bottom of the screen, I have all these controls for. So this control here will let me set the size of the X dimension, which is the I think the left and right, the Y, which is the back, and which is the up and down. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a inch big, an inch round token. Now that just made it oblong.
Right.
As you can see, because I've only changed one dimension.
So ovoid.
But yes, so I can actually 25.4 millimeters is an inch. So 25.4 millimeters in the other dimension, and now you can see that it is now indeed a circle. So this program also lets you change the units that you're using to measure it in. I usually work in millimeters just because that's what all the parameters inside of the 3D printer are. So I've gotten a little bit used to actually using metric, like the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But occasionally I have to drop back into inches so that I can get things to fit. So there we go. Now I've got an inch circle that I can very easily change now the Z dimension, and I'm going to make it, let's make it, maybe half of the. I'm sorry?
I said, are you trying to make flat discs that are going to have your tokens on them?
Yep. So I just changed the Z dimension there to 0.4 of a millimeter, which is probably a little too thin. So I'm actually going to go.
It's not very big.
Yeah. I'm going to go to 2 millimeters. There we go. And then I can settle that down in the screen so that it's on the virtual build surface here, which you can see all the fun little measurements and everything. So then that gives it a good place, like a starting point for all your measurements for where you're about to place your actual icon. So there we go. That's a token. It's a checker.
That's so cool. How do they? I mean, how do they monetize the site?
This comes with Windows. Oh, you mean GameIcons.net?
Yeah, like.
You know what? I haven't looked into it. They might be a donation site, and honestly, at this point, I am thrilled with it, and I've used it a few times. So I should probably, be a good communist and contribute to the cause.
Yeah.
I found the same thing with Thingiverse. Millions of downloadable files for your 3D printer, and it is a donation thing. You can pay either to Thingiverse or you can pay to the actual person who made the particular file that you got.
Yeah.
And it's pay what you want or what you can. I think it's personally great. Sees those means of production, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. Like I've used Thingiverse quite a bit. I mean, it's the obvious place to go, especially when you're first starting out, to get things and try your printer out and everything like that. So yeah, I've gotten tons of files from there. So so here we go. Next step. I'm going to insert an image. So it brings up this little menu. Here's some of the other projects that I built inside of this. So you can see, like, I built like a little spaceship, and I built 50-point tokens. I built that's a little weird hanger thing. It goes over top of a hanger, so you can hang another hanger on the hanger. Does that make any sense?
Like a coat hanger thing?
Yeah, like a coat hanger thing.
Yeah. Sure.
So,
first I was like spaceship hanger?
No.
Okay, I'm kind of.
Yeah.
A Zeppelin hanger.
Yes, for my Zeppelin.
So I can hang my clothes.
Right.
Some
people have a closet. I have a Zeppelin.
Coming out of the Zeppelin is a whole different holiday. I love it.
So I'm going to go ahead and load an image. And there's the battle axe that I made earlier. So all I got to do is select that and open it. And it'll give me a big old 3D model of the
that's cool.
Of the thing. So I will import that. And now I have that. So just to make it a little easier to see, I'm going to go over here to paint, choose a color. I'm going to make this light green. And I can go through and I can spray all the different parts to make that green. So now the trick is I got to scale that bad boy.
I was going to say, that's a little big.
Yeah, that's not going to fit on my inch large thing. So I can go down here to my controls, and I'm just going to go ahead and lock all of the axes, so that when I drag this little arrow, it'll just make it all the size that I want it to.
Stays
here.
proportion.
And I can move it around the same way. I can just drag it. It's light because it's below the build area. But the other cool thing that I can do, and this is a lot easier to get everything centered, is I can just put in the global coordinates that I want that to sit at. So if I want it to sit at 0 on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis, it takes it right to the center, and it's directly centered above my
right.
token. So
Nice.
it helps you like really line things up for if you want things to be a little bit more precise.
Mhm.
And then I can just drop it down, what contacts my token. And
Is it going to be a raised surface?
right now, yes, it will be. So that's the way you can make it just a raised surface on top. Now, obviously, that's really thick. I probably want to shrink it down. But I'm gonna do this. I'm going to duplicate that so I can show you object, copy, paste, and now I got 2 of them. So I'll just get that bad boy out of the way for now. I'll come back here and select this one. So if I sink this a little further down into my token, I can go over here to edit, and I can hit this subtract button, and boom, it just cut it out of that. So, I mean, that one I didn't measure out or anything. I didn't decide how deep I wanted it or anything like that. But if if I take a little bit of time and decide I want it just, half an inch down, I can set it half an inch, subtract it, and then you have a recessed icon there.
That's cool. And then you hand paint it?
Yep. And then once it's printed out, it gets hand painted, and bada bing, bada boom. So
that's so cool.
Yep. So the only other thing left to do then, I'll go ahead and get rid of this other one since we decided to make a recessed token instead, would be to go over here and to save as. And the trick with this is you can save it here as a 3MF format, which is the format that 3D Builder uses. So if you're partway through a project or you want to just keep the 3D Builder project there, you can save it as, Axe token, if you want to print it out, if you want to save it so that you can print it out, you have to save it as an STL format. Does your Paolo? Does your printer use STLs or does it use some other format?
So the Photon Anycube uses a different format that I think it's its own format. But what it does is it converts STL to its format. So you have to go from STL, which is the standard format for 3D printing, and then import it into the software for the Photon. It makes a different file. I think it's called a PWS. I don't know.
Okay.
But
you start from there with an STL format, and then your slicer software basically turns it into the appropriate. Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
The old slicer software.
Which is just a BA name. Like, I'm going to put it into my slicer.
That's right.
The gene slicer.
Every, like 1/100th of a millimeter or something like that, it gets a different layer.
Okay. Well, if that's what your resin printer does, then so part of the thing about me designing in here for my my FDM printer is that I need to take into account the layer heights for everything. So if I want it to print as cleanly as absolutely possible, I have to calculate the number of layers that it is going to be. Does that make sense?
Whoa. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the height of this token ends up being a multiple of 0.2 millimeters.
Right.
I'm not smart enough to know the difference sometimes.
So
I have to take 0.2 millimeters.
0.2 of a millimeter.
Yes.
Is the total height. No, that's
is the total height of the layer that I would use.
Of each layer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now I can set different layer heights, so I can change that.
Mhm.
But so long as the total file Z measurement can be divided by the layer height, then I know I'm going to get a really clean print.
Right.
So that's something I didn't take the time to do, here, because I was just going to take a little bit more.
Because it either won't or will do that last layer.
It will do that last layer, but in watching videos and stuff from people who've really, really worked out how to get the cleanest possible print, they've said if you make that layer just a little bit, if the height is just a little bit lower or a little bit higher, the printer is still going to step up that 0.2 millimeters, and it isn't, or that 0.2 of a millimeter, and it's gonna squish out a little bit more, or it's not gonna stick as well, that last layer.
Right.
Because it still goes up 0.2 of a millimeter, but the height of the thing, I didn't understand it all. I just said, okay, I will follow your instructions.
Right.
Boy, I learned the hard way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I've yet to really go into the detail of setting this printer up the best way it can, but resin printers do a really good job with the details. This is just like, that's just the rib cage of a small skeleton that snaps together.
Okay.
And it's pretty good. I'm gonna get I have a different size one.
Well, how big were you saying your how high were your layers?
Oh, they've got to be 1/10 of a mil.
Okay.
Too slow to see.
Gotcha.
Small.
Yeah. So it's like,
wow.
That is pretty weird.
Not only that, but if the resin's being cured with a laser, like it's going to be, just layered. It's going to have that much more precision than just squirting plastic out,
Is that what you have, the like extrudy kind?
Yeah, I have. Well, there it is. I don't know which way to move. There it is behind me. In my little
beautiful machine.
My little
it
alcove.
Works great for terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I hear, and also it's a little bigger. Like my print plate is like that big,
Mm-hmm.
So as long as it's this, it could be really tall, but it can't be really much wider than that. So, or it can't be any wider than that.
Gotcha. Wow. Gotcha. Yeah. So you have to, if you're going to make some terrain, you almost have to print it then in pieces or stages.
And either print pieces of it or get a different printer.
Gotcha.
That's what I would do.
I would say the terrain, because I've seen with the FDMs, those are probably better for that.
Yeah.
It's probably cheaper. You don't have to worry about all the protective gloves and all that nonsense.
Yeah, right.
Running through all of the glove wear, especially in this day and age. And we were just talking about that before you got here, was the isopropyl alcohol. The resin printer, you got to put everything in an alcohol bath once it's done, get all the loose resin off. And isopropyl alcohol is a big hard to get feature in today's life.
Because everybody bought a printer.
Or
they're drinking it.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, that, was all my protective gloves and stuff. Like I'm afraid to glue anything because I don't have gloves anymore. Like I just used some JB Weld the other day, and I was like, okay, don't get this shit on your hands. Like, you want to
don't touch yourself. Don't breathe.
I don't want to take important, protective stuff away from people who are actually going to need it for health reasons.
Yeah,
So
really.
I don't even
right?
buy it, you know.
Yeah. I've been saving my gloves. I've been going very minimalistic.
Yeah.
Just I'm gonna reuse it. It didn't hurt it. So
I do that anyway.
Condom on
'cause
each
I'm
finger.
grew up poor and I'm cheap, so I reuse everything.
oh, here we go. Photon can print down to 0.025.
Hot diggity.
Ooh, yeah.
There's no area of my life where I'm that precise.
Thanks, Charles, for swinging in with the info.
Right.
Having only just had my printer for 2 weeks of actual printing. The last week I was like, I got it. I set it up. I tried to print, and kids, shake that resin. I think that was my big takeaway from there was I totally didn't shake the resin bottle up enough, and it just didn't print.
Oh, okay.
Well, it didn't solidify on anything.
Never shake a baby. Always shake the resin.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know this.
Chris
My
going out some more
FDM can be the layer height can be decreased or increased. So when I print out miniatures, I printed it, I think 1.2, or no, yes, it's 12 hundredths, no, 0.12 millimeters. And that 0.2 is because apparently the stepper motors in the machine, because of the way they're geared and calibrated, if you put them at a multiple of 4 hundredths of a millimeter, they engage at the right spots to get the cleanest layers.
Right.
So
it's like a gear inside that like holds really well at each notch. Is that layer?
Apparently, I haven't looked at the actual mechanisms of it, because I'd have to tear it apart or find an exploded view of the actual motor. But I think the guy on Tomb of 3D Printed Horrors actually was saying that this particular printer is geared at 4 hundredths of a millimeter, and so when you're choosing your layer heights, it has to be a multiple. Well, it doesn't have to be, but it's best if it is a multiple of 4/10 of a millimeter.
Right.
So I can take it.
Of course, that's just for that machine.
Right, for this machine. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you guys thought ahead to the part where we're not making like miniatures and appliances, but people are like growing body parts and stuff at home?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like full replicator.
Have we?
I mean,
I've watched some of the amazing industrial machines that print in different types of materials, steels and aluminums and all sorts of weird stuff. It's just amazing to me.
And they're robotic, and they're just going off and doing their own thing. And you're like, I told this robot to go build a bridge. And it is. I sure hope my plans don't change.
Yeah, you've seen those that build the bridges. They're basically just a welding machine that's welding a bridge from nothing.
It's amazing.
Oh, the show Upload talks about 3D printing food.
Yeah. I mean, eventually, right?
I mean,
so
and then you have a problem, and it all makes cat food like Star Trek.
That's just a sausage machine, right? Like isn't that what's?
So you make a sausage, but then it prints any shape you want.
Any shape sausage.
It's just any shape sausage you want. I'd like my sausage to be steak shaped, please.
I'd like it to be shaped like a fresh mango.
Mango sausage. It's like mango salsa, but
beefier.
I feel like with those videos you see of like the McDonald's slurry, that pink slurry or whatever that they use. I'm just imagining that. you know, at McDonald's printing out stuff with that pink slurry.
It's really like the stuff in the Matrix where it's like it has everything a body needs, but does not have everything a body needs.
There's
right.
nothing you want though.
Here's the it's upside down. Here's my devil card. If we can get it at an angle where you can see it, it's determined to be upside down. Pop that up on the action cam.
Nice.
So I don't know why it wants to be upside down, but like I said, it totally looks like
flip it over.
Something in the club. When I do that, it just keeps rotating. It's
that's good.
There you go. And so anyway, working on those.
What program are you using to do that on your tablet?
This is Adobe. Wait, is my thing freaking out? Hold please. Are we back? Adobe Sketch, Adobe Draw.
Okay.
Hold please, I have to look. Yeah, Adobe Draw. Apparently, I'm supposed to have been working in Adobe Sketch this whole time, and I made my life way harder because it makes like vector drawings. But what I tend to do is I draw a thick line and then use eraser to cut it down to a really clean line, so it's a lot more like block printing, which I'm used to.
Okay.
So it makes it like a reductive. I'm learning.
I'm just using a pencil.
Me too, but mine is a space pencil.
Space pencil.
Yeah.
So have you found that that it's like a real mind screw then to you basically spent your entire life learning to draw and understand the brain processes that it takes to put all these lines and shadows and everything together using physical means. And now you almost have to think about it completely differently.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, the Photoshop to do my tiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like these are hand painted. And then I had to go into Photoshop and then clean each one up, use that final form, and then be able to send that image off. Because taking a picture of the hand painted material is not good enough.
Huh.
It's not a clear image enough. So I had to literally go in. Every single tile has a different picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then take that picture, send it into my computer, and like you're like, wow, that cameras are good, but the colors are different, or
it's glary.
Yeah, all sorts of issues.
Wow.
And then it was nice though. Also, I will say though, to make a square, I was able to take my hand painted materials and then put dead straight lines through them, and then I have to go, oh, you know what, that's a little different. So then I have to clean that edge up because that line is like, oh, this is the straight line, and I was like, it kind of got hand painted a little not straight.
Okay.
So you could use the technology to.
So I was able to fix those up.
Very cool.
And then, but it is art. I mean, it's hand painted art anyway, so it's not exactly supposed to be dead straight anyway.
But you do want them to still function interchangeably.
Yeah, they still have to function for the game that they're built for. So,
gotcha. Wow, that's something I haven't even. I mean, I've drawn in GIMP or Photoshop from nothing, but I don't think I've ever tried to take a hand drawn piece of art and get it scanned in. And
well, that's what these are. As I did these the most coming from the analog verse possible. I sketched them on tracing paper and then took pictures of them with the CAPTCHA app on my phone by holding them up against the window as if it was a light table. And now I'm drawing over my sketches to make them feel like block prints. Right. I mean,
steps and steps and steps.
Right. At this point, I feel like these pictures should be done. But that's the.
I mean, personally, I feel like my process, because I can paint, right? So I get to that step where I can paint it, hand painted, boom, and then transfer it over to the graphic image and go into Photoshop. And I'm pretty good at Photoshop. I'm not the best, but I feel like that was pretty fast, honestly.
Yeah. And you got to say, maybe I like these better matte or shiny, like things,
true.
Decisions that you got to make in production that you didn't make with the paint.
I was able to make these more red than the originals
in Photoshop.
I was like, well, I wanted to be brownstone, but I wanted to be reddish. And my end result was a little more brown than red. And I was like, I can just tint all of these in the computer just a little redder. And that's what it did.
So did you find that what you saw on the screen in your Photoshop file was drastically different from the printed material that you ended up getting from the printer?
Not drastically.
Okay.
I'll tell you, the pinkish color that ended up on that is definitely not, like, I had a more red color. And even actually, I'm looking at it and I'm looking at it on the screen. The screen is way more pink than this is, even though this is a bit magenta-y. Like the farther away I hold it from the screen, it looks more real than the actual color. But when you hold it right up to the camera, that camera is definitely making it chartreuse. I don't know what
magenta is
magenta, yeah.
That's not something that came up with me for my tarot deck when I had it republished, because of course I have all the original block prints were hand colored to my exact, here I am in real time specifications. And then you scan the art as realistically as you can. You send it off. They look at their screen. They look at your screen. The difference isn't in the file. It's in how their screen sees it. So the art that I actually got back was a little darker. And because there were so many people of color in my art, I was like, you're going to have to fix that. I put a lot of effort into making sure that these people have a lot of like 3-dimensional tonal variations, and you've sort of flattened them out into these brown monoliths, and that's not cool, man.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, and I'm not mad, but it's hard for me to know how to make their job easier other than saying, here's my art, make it look like that.
Right.
So, you know.
Now the company that printed these.
He's good at languages, just not English.
Right. They printed up a copy and they sent it to me and said, how's that look? Is that look like the colors? Because they know their printing machine also prints at a different color saturation than you see on one screen. Looking at 2 different screens, and they're both different.
Yeah.
And they're both the same computer. And so they send that to me, and I go, yeah, it could be a little redder or whatever. And so we got to a point they didn't have to print out too many fake ones, but
plan on proofing it. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Without when you're not on a deadline.
Yeah, when I realized that what I saw on my computer was going to be different from what my final printed product was going to look like, I had basically printed out a prototype for a card game, and the colors had to be different so that they could be distinguishable on the table, and they clearly weren't. My gray was way darker, and my brown was way grayer than it needed to be. And so then I started really doing some internet research, and oh gosh, the internet's a hell of a thing to swim through anymore. To try to find something legitimately.
I just found out there is flat.
What? Where have I been?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
So I was trying to find out basically as much information as I could about how to understand the difference between RGB color that you see on your screen and
Right.
CMYK color that comes out in the printing process, and how
Right.
to just, I don't know, parse any of that in the process without actually having to go through consistent printing and checking processes.
Right.
Right.
Because if you're working with a game company, would have interns sitting around doing that, right?
Yeah.
And if you're a one-man game company, you are the printer and the proofer,
Right.
and the color corrector.
And
So
I
a
also
lot of
feel like
extra
there
steps.
has to be some method that graphic design and professionals and artistic professionals know and use, so that they
Mhm.
don't constantly have to go through that process. There has to be
Right.
information or knowledge available, to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
And trying to find it through, the internet, I just haven't found it yet. So
Even knowing the right questions to ask. Because if you were like,
Exactly.
oh, I'm looking for the International Pantone Color Spectrum Codification Guide or whatever,
right,
you're like, oh, good, those were the magic words. Now I have the key. But
right, and
dear
it opens
internet,
up
why
a
is my
whole
key
nother
red?
corner of the internet that, oh well, if you're just searching for the right thing, you can find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does help to have other people around you who are somewhere in the same journey as you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you can at least go, why? What is the magic word I'm looking for?
Yep, you can tap their library of knowledge, and at least
hard fought facts.
Yeah. So now, are those images going to eventually be colored, or are you going for just a line art?
These
deck?
ones, well, these are to make magnet paper dolls of the tarot.
Okay.
So it's just a project for my Patreon people, basically. And so I'm doing the line art, and then Mab is actually going to color them. We decided to collaborate just to make it more fun. And she has a much more of a almost like Chagall kind of quality to her coloring. It's a lot more whimsical. And so it'll make them very different from my actual printed deck. So they will be colored, but not by me. I realized if I had to learn to do that too, this would take me 2 years. And at that point, it's no longer like a cool, quick thing I'm doing for my people, but it's actually keeping me from getting to my other big tarot project, which is to get my full actual deck and book reissued for next year.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there will be color, but it will be colored by Mab in her. She's the one who turned me on to the whole, like, why don't you use a tablet? Why don't you use these programs? Why don't I show you how to plug it in?
Science is hard.
Science is hard. Again, it helps to have smart people around you.
Well, that's, what I'm going to end up doing with these maps is that I'm going to take a picture of this. I'm going to put it into Photoshop and finish it up, add some color pieces, and then send it off as a PDF to everybody. This will probably be not November's map, but it'll probably be December's map, because I already have another map for November. So map of the month. That's right. All right, Zeb, you weren't here for that. That's our next step.
I caught a little bit of that as I was watching. Before I decided, hey, I'm on today.
Yay! I'm so glad.
Well, we only have a couple minutes left. Zeb, I will see you this Saturday and Sunday. They're not dueling stages. They're like neighbor stages.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be at the Mud Pit. I'm over there at the Boar's Head, Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. We have 2 more weekends.
2 more weekends. Yes, sir.
That's right. Yep. It goes all the way to November 1st. And then the election of a lifetime. Can't wait. Actually, I already voted. In my state, we can early vote. So hopefully you.
I've got mine right here sitting next to me. That's next on my list to do today. So
right. That was couple of weeks ago when I had Mab on here, we had a lengthy discussion about voting. Voting people. Not like voting people, but voting, comma, people.
Voting and pockets. Use your pockets if you don't have to get a damn bag. Women literally went to jail and were intubated, like forcefully by the man because they insisted on having pockets because it would lead to independence and voting. Use your goddamn pockets instead of getting a
Bicycles.
plastic bag.
The horror.
Right?
Right?
And ride your bicycle and fucking vote.
Yeah. So
You
vote.
can buy a gun and some lentils as well if you need to, but also vote.
So with that, that's right. So we got Pennsylvania Fair this coming weekend.
Yeah.
Sunday night, we have the haiku wrap up with Romulus.
Ooh.
And I believe Eyal is going to join him. And I'll be in the comment section. Then it's going to be our Halloween special on Tuesday night, October 27th. Your Halloween party kits are being sent out today. And so you can expect to get that in just the next couple of days. And then it's the last weekend of the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, October 31st, Halloween night, and
I've got
November
tarot class
1st.
tonight. If you want to do a tarot workshop through RVA, which is Unite. And then my regular class is on Monday nights. We're going to be doing tarot for Halloween specific stuff. If you want to do that as your warm up on Monday before the Nat 21 game the next night.
There you go. We also have, oh, and tonight we have the Grand Patreon Saints game on Twitch. So check it out, 6:30 to 9:30. They are going to finish up their adventure out on the floaty island, or at least we assume they are. It'll probably lead to another adventure, as it always does. My friends, hey, thanks for joining us for Painting with Paolo. Thanks, Zeb, for being here, showing us some 3D action. And the lovely Ansa is here as well. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you there at home. Remember, take an hour and a half for yourself to make some art. It's not just good for you, but it's good for the whole world. So remember, it's Painting with Paolo. There's no such thing as critical failure, just critical little accidents. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Bye.